All right, let's go ahead and pivot on over and talk a little bit about your Utah Hockey Club, huh?
Let's do it.
All right. There, all right, so let's go ahead and jump in and talk a little bit about the Utah Hockey Club. First of all, folks, as a reminder, we did just launch a channel for your Utah Hockey Club. This channel specifically for your Utah Hockey Club. All of our Utah Hockey content will be posted here first. So if you have not yet, check out the description down below. If you're watching this for our hockey content, a link to this channel will be in the description below. If you're watching this on our main channel, DNA Sports Recap. With that said, man, now the season's basically over it is over for your Utah Hockey Club.
Yep.
Now, while we do see that this is a good season for this team, right? We did have we ended up with over 15 points more than they had last year.
Yeah, they had a great season.
Yeah, Armstrong's continuing to build this team each and every year since they've been underneath his tutelage, and now with not having the handicap of not having the money to basically buy the players he wants and do what he needs to do.
Yeah,
they definitely excelled. We did fall short of our ultimate goal, which is getting them into the playoffs, but that's perfectly fine for me. I think that, like we covered last week, if you were watching our show last week, they definitely, the rebuild is on track, basically.
Absolutely.
So now the question is, well, now what, right?
Yep.
So now we probably hear, what we're thinking about when it comes to this is how this season, what's going to happen now with this season. There are probably, a few things here that we want to get into. Some will probably hear something about the Stanley Cup playoffs and stuff like that. We'll get into some of that stuff as well as we go forward here. But this team will likely have some stuff that we need to talk about over the next 3 or 4 months before we get into free agency, stuff like that.
Yep, absolutely.
So the first thing that I want to talk about is the most likely thing we're going to hear, which is going to probably happen sometime after the Stanley Cup playoffs, which is the team will be announcing their name probably.
Yeah.
That's probably been the biggest question mark on this team. Which
is really funny that's like where we're at, right? Like we're like, oh, we really need to find a name for this team.
Yeah, we fell, if it wasn't for the St. Louis Blues just going on a 12, 13 game winning streak, whatever they ended up doing, we'd be right in the hunt within the, the Calgary Canucks and we would have just been just behind those guys, in chasing for the final wildcard spot. But the Blues just simply would not lose. And they seemed like a team on destiny. So it was really interesting.
They made a huge push at the tail end of the season. They won like 6 in a row and then lost one and are tied one. Like they just kept getting points. It made it really difficult. But I mean, to your point, naming the team is huge, right? Like we know that it's down to Mammoth, Outlaws, Utah Hockey Club as kind of the 3 finalists. They did just file the trademark extensions for Mammoth. So, all the rumors swirling around about this is what we're going to be. We're going to be the Mammoth moving forward. It's still cool. There was an article on Deseret News that said that the poll found that Utahns favor the name Outlaws over Mammoth.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that was the poll on Deseret News. So I don't know. I'm kind of curious to see where that's going to come. Kind of where that's going to land. And that will be exciting once we get to that point to find out what the team is going to be named. And then we can look forward to, all of the new gear to come out and all the new naming and branding and all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of a fun time to just be waiting around. Like it is something that's one more thing that's going to change with the team that you don't have to wait for with other professional teams.
Yeah. One of the things I like about this is, before I get into that, what do you think about that? Outlaws. If it's Utah picking and it's the poll by Deseret News says it's Outlaws, it's the favorite.
First of all, it needs to be singular.
Yeah.
It needs to be Outlaw.
It's not what they trademarked though.
I know, Outlaws, which is crazy. I don't like it. I have a lot of friends that like the Outlaw name. The Outlaws name, right? That I kind of see it. I think you could come up with some really catchy kind of stuff for it. It's Wild Wild West, but I feel like Mammoth might be a little better fit. Just it's at least generally a winter animal.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Was here during the last ice age, so that makes
I mean, I guess I'm just kind of to the point where it's like I'm just ready to know the name. You know what I mean? So we can change our stupid channel. I don't
know. Should we change the channel or should we just leave it Utah Hockey DNA?
That's a great point. It might just be Utah Hockey. I mean,
we might just leave it.
Yeah, I mean, it's Utah football.
We might just throw a different logo.
Utah Hockey.
We'll just throw a different looking Mammoth or Outlaw.
Yeah, we might change switch the Outlaw or the actual logo in.
I don't know, man. For me, it's definitely going to be a situation where I'm right there with you. I would prefer if it meant we didn't have to have that stupid faux hawk Yeti as the mascot. I would prefer Utah Hockey Club. I just like it. We could call it the HC, the Utah HC. We could be different. We could be unique. I know I'm going to hear from it from Greg. This isn't the Premier League. One of the things I just at this point, I'm very similar to you on that. I want the name. I want it to be done so we can kind of move on. Speaking of moving on, we spent already more time on this than I wanted to. So let's go ahead and pivot on over. So next we're going to talk about when it comes to the offseason is going to be free agency, man. This team at the time of recording is currently sitting on $21.5 million in cap space with 20 players signed for next year. Free agency is going to be interesting. This team already has been connected to Mitch Marner, who's a 27-year-old forward, according to David Pagnotta of the Fourth Period. If not him, forwards like Nikolaj Ehlers from Winnipeg or Brock Brozier from the Canucks. These are all players that have been linked to Utah Hockey Club already coming in pending free agency.
Yeah.
What are you seeing when it comes to this?
I think it'll be really interesting to see which direction they go and where the team thinks that we need talent, right? Because realistically, offensively, this team for most of the season didn't have any issues scoring goals. I mean, we reloaded on the back line, on the defensive line, like throughout the season. We did a good job. We got guys back from injuries. Obviously, adding Mikhail Sergachev was a huge pickup. He helped us on the defensive line quite a bit. So I'm curious to see what this team thinks we need moving forward. Is it offense or defense? Do we need to pick up another goalie? We don't know how long Connor Ingram's going to be out for. I think the most interesting part to me is really what does Bill Armstrong come up with as far as what we need in this offseason. And once we, and we'll see that kind of by the trends of who we hear is linked to the team and that kind of stuff. But we're going to need they're going to fill some specific needs, but what are those needs actually going to be when it comes into it?
Yeah, the three that were linked so far were all forwards. So I think it's more offense.
Which is crazy because, we have Logan Cooley and Dylan Gunther and like these really talented offensive guys that did a really good job this year.
Yeah, Dylan Gunther was a steal, by the way. Led the team in goal scores, man.
Yeah.
Jeez. And, Clayton Keller scored 30 goals.
Yeah.
Great year. Team captain for the first time. I don't know, man. Like I'm surprised that it's maybe just whoever this is from the fourth inning doesn't really watch a whole lot of Utah hockey and doesn't really understand where it's coming from. But yeah, man, I'm a little surprised on that too. One thing I can say for certain is, they have cap space. They can bring in a couple good vets that could really help out on either side of the puck, whether it be across the blue line or not. I really think this team is in a good position when it comes to that. And I think that's where we need to pivot into talking about the draft.
Yeah.
So the fact that Armstrong didn't trade any expiring vet contracts and actually signed 4 of them to extensions tell us loud and clear that they are looking, at, what they're looking at as far as, timetable wise, which, by the way, as a Utah fan, is very refreshing to hear. Like how many times
actually in on winning?
How many times we've talked on this channel where we can't figure out what the Jazz are doing by the same organization or ownership organization that we have no idea what they're doing. But that move right there set a clear signal that Armstrong and SCG are going into competing going forward. Like the time is now to push the chips in the middle, to take this young talent, continue to develop them, but support them with some vets that can really help push this team in contention for a playoff. But they're, basically what it's telling us is we're no longer trying to stack draft picks and young talent.
Yeah.
We've got Tidge down in the minors there. We've got plenty of young talent down there. And right now, I predict that there's going to be a lot of movement, especially around that 15 overall pick that the Utah Hockey Club has, as well as some of our future picks as well. This team is going to start trying to compete, and it's going to start in October.
Absolutely. And I totally agree, because the best part about this team is we really do have a really promising pipeline of prospects that we still have down in the minors, and developing them has really been a key focus for Utah hockey, right? They're putting guys in opportunities to be successful. They're bringing them up in any opportunity, and it's been great to see this team continue to develop young talent, and it puts them in a unique position because they may or may not need that 15th pick. And if they can put that up and get some pieces to help make this team win now, I think that'll be something that Bill Armstrong will definitely go after and say, like you said, all chips in the middle.
Do you see them holding on to that 15th pick this summer? I don't think so.
I don't know why you would. I especially if you can trade that and get some pieces that you get, a piece that you want, a piece that makes this team better now. I think they'd be crazy to keep it.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. I agree with you. We want to hear from you folks. Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments down below when it comes to your Utah Hockey Club. Do you think, as far as anything we talked about, are you kind of comment on the name? You know, do you think the Utah Hockey Club is what they're going to be? Are they going to be the Mammoth or the Outlaws? You know, let us know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. Also, what you think about upcoming, free agency. Are you excited for this Utah hockey team? You know, what do you expect for them to do? And what do you expect for them to do in the draft as well? We want to hear from you. Once again, folks, if you are watching this for Utah hockey content, you're on our main channel, DNA Sports Recap. We do have a channel specifically for your Utah Hockey Club. A link to that channel will be in the description below. Be sure to subscribe to that channel, hit that notification bell. Once this channel hits 1,000 subscribers, we'll be giving away a Utah Hockey Club jersey. If it hits 1,000 after we have the name, it will be the new team's name. So
yes,
if you want one of those rare ones, we got to make it happen. Throw it up.
Smash that subscribe button, hit the like button. We appreciate all the engagement, you guys.